Everybody should know. We just did that entire thing. We got right to the end of it, and he goes, William, we weren't recording. Amazing. Spider-Man. Let's talk about it. It was awesome.
All right, we just got back from Spider-Man 4, round 2. This isn't the first time I've had to do a round 2 of a review, so it's okay.
Are you sure it's recording?
Yes, I'm doubly sure it is recording. I'm looking at everything now.
Oh, yeah. I have web shooters.
I am Chewy. I am from ESPN Radio Winchester. This is now showing we are reviewing Spider-Man 4 today.
Hi, my name is Peter Parker. You don't remember me, but we used to know each other. Something bad was going to happen, and the only way to stop it was to make everyone forget about me.
I've brought my brother in here with me. This is the first time you've got to do anything here at the station with us. And so why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Like, what is you know, people are familiar. I like Star Wars. Star Wars is my thing. Spider-Man is kind of like that for you.
Oh, yeah. Spider-Man's always been my favorite thing since I was a kid. Ever since Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think we saw that in the theaters. I remember specifically seeing Spider-Man 3 a lot of times. I remember throwing up a lot of times in Spider-Man 3 theater.
Okay.
No, but I've always liked Spider-Man. I even got a tattoo of him. So
initial thoughts. We watched this 3 times now. And if you want to tell people why we watched this 3 times now.
So I'm a very tired soul. I fall asleep often. And during the first time we watched it, I fell asleep during the last half of the movie, and I was mad. I was furious.
We walked out of the theater, and I was like, why are you so upset? I was like, because I thought the ending had pissed you off.
No,
but you were like, no, I fell asleep halfway through it. And you were like grumpy. And also, the people in the theater weren't quiet either.
There was, she's a kid, but she would not shut up.
Good
gosh.
The next day.
And then Dad, on the way home, was like, oh, that last scene was so cool. It was so awesome. I'm like,
You're like,
sure it was.
I wish it was.
I'm sure it was. I sure wish I should have saw it.
And then, so the next day we go to Oldham, and we are in Oldham, and we walk out of the theater, and you look at me, and you're like, whew, and I'm like, what's up? And you're like, I fell asleep during the first half of the movie. So it took us 2 watches for you to finally get the whole film under your belt.
Technically, I still saw it.
Yeah, you did see it. It just took, we had 2 swings.
3, actually. We saw it tonight.
Right. We went back. We rewatched it tonight to get a fresh set of eyes on it. And I think it really held up. Usually sometimes when I watch movies like 2 or 3 times in a row, I start noticing the things I didn't like about it. But with this one, it really holds up, dude. I thought it was thoroughly a decent experience, both from if you're an MCU fan and just a regular Spider-Man fan. You don't have to be. This is not MCU homework movie. This is like one where you can just go with your family. If you like Spider-Man, go and watch it, you know?
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, it certainly felt like just a Spider-Man movie. It didn't feel very MCU-ized. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
it was sort of a solo Spider-Man movie. They obviously had reasons why the larger Avengers wouldn't take part in it. They have to have the explanation scene. But I'm glad they didn't get involved.
Yeah, and even the characters that you see in the trailers that show up, they didn't feel too forced. They didn't take it away from being like a Spider-Man thing. No, this is it just felt right.
And it was just a well-made experience. It was a decent movie. I didn't feel like I wasted my money on the tickets. It was a generally just a good time. I think anyone who just enjoys superhero movies, Spider-Man in general, they're gonna like it.
If you're a comic Spider-Man fan like I am, you're gonna have like a lovely time. You see a lot of references in there.
Well constructed. All the actors in this did really, really well.
Oh yeah.
Everyone. There was a lot of instances of characters having to inhabit 2 versions of themselves. No spoilers yet. And all of them did very, very well, and you could like tell the differences in body language and everything. Everything looked amazing as well.
Oh yeah, it was shot amazing, and the fight scenes, dude, were crazy good. I really like the fight scenes.
Some of the best Spider-Man action we've ever gotten, both from like a web sling perspective visually, what it did. And this story it's about Peter Parker becoming a grown up, kind of in many ways. This is a story of a metamorphosis in some ways of him as both a person and as a character and a superhero. Very, very much old school Spider-Man feeling story. This did not feel like it was just existing to set up something larger. It did have a few things that it did set up, but nothing that got in the way of the story. All the characters involved felt like they had a reason to be there. Nothing felt sort of shoehorned in. At least for me personally, I
Yeah.
didn't feel like anything was really shoehorned in. And overall, very positive experience.
Yeah, I loved it every time I went.
A little bit of swearing, so if you have young kids, maybe if you have a problem with that. But besides that, I think this is a pretty decent family adventure movie. It's nice. It's got heart to it. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And William, would you say that it is worth the popcorn?
Absolutely worth the popcorn.
All right.
Absolutely.
Skip to this time code. We're going to talk some spoilers. Jean Grey.
She was cool. I didn't think I was going to like her at first. I'll be honest with you. Whenever I found out she was in it, I was like, eh. Because, I was expecting Scorpion to be the main villain, but which, by the way, I loved Scorpion in this. It was really, really cool.
Really interestingly used.
What is happening to me? Did you miss me, Spidey? I'm losing my mind. I am totally out of control.
Oh, yeah. I really liked them. And the fight scene, whenever he, so Spider-Man has, his body is getting taken over. This is, a reference to him becoming Man-Spider in the comics. Where he's, mutating and stuff.
His arachnid hormones and DNA are overtaking his body, and it's causing physical changes.
You, see how aggressive he gets, and, I want to see that whenever they finally add Venom. I'm like, okay, this is going to be cool when they do that. He can get pretty rough. I like that.
I was a big fan of how they handled everything, especially with the Spider-Man DNA. It sort of implied that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is the strongest physically.
Yeah.
And has, the highest amount of arachnid DNA in it. It was really sort of an interesting vindication for Tobey Maguire fans and everything. Have you gotten your thing stuck?
Yeah, but that's all right.
Your web shooter was stuck to the floor. Didn't believe that he was a Spider-Man fan.
Yeah. Anyway.
I think Scorpion was interestingly used. Part of me would have liked to have seen Scorpion as the quote-unquote main villain, but I think this was a very appropriate use of Scorpion. I'm glad Scorpion existed in this,
Well, he's been teased since Homecoming at the end, whenever they're in the prison scene, him and Vulture. You can see the tattoo is clearly Scorpion. So, for a whole 2 movies, we've been wondering where he's at, and he's looks beautiful. The suit is amazing.
He really is. He has that sort of MCU sort of industrial realism to him, but he still felt like Scorpion, which I really appreciated. Lots of really interesting deep cut comic book references to both panel art, covers, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, they had Amazing Fantasy 15 to start off with. They had the ninjas, the fighting
the hand.
The hand. Yeah. They had that.
They had 6 or 7 different comic book covers. Yeah.
There was one with Scorpion.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of them, honestly. There's a scene at the end where the Empire State Building lights up red and blue. That's from whenever he saved the whole island, and that was that.
It amounts to a kind of rebirth.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of them.
If you're a fan of comic book movies in general, I think you're really going to get a kick out of this one, especially with all of the really old school sort of references and stuff. But again, it felt like an older Spider-Man movie.
Well, yeah, and they also had references to Tobey and Andrew the whole time.
Yeah, even directly named in some places. He literally says Spider-Man 2, talking about Tobey Maguire with his organic web spinnerets. This movie was really interesting where he was that old school Spider-Man again.
Yeah.
But he still he had sort of this knowledge, and he felt like a genius. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whenever he was talking about, also, is he the X-Men Oppenheimer with the Universal?
Kind of, I guess. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because isn't that the exact technology that they're going to use to inhibit X-Men genes?
Probably.
Like, so
It's yet to be seen, though, but yeah, probably.
but that's what I'm saying. So I think this movie may actually be more impactful than people realize later on.
For sure.
But again, back to the X-Men thing. This didn't. Again, Jean Grey is in this. Spoiler alert. But Jean Grey this doesn't feel like an X-Men movie.
It doesn't interfere with it being Spider-Man. I saw somebody online. It's like somebody prolific. They said something along the lines that it's very Steve Ditko style.
Yeah,
which
very,
is,
very much.
if you're a Spider-Man fan, obviously you know who that is. And I agreed with that entirely. There was that scene where he's sad after the party, and he's just web swinging in the rain and tears and shit. And I'm like, sorry.
It's straight Spider-Man.
It is great. Just straight up Spider-Man.
It's everything you would want from this kind of film, and I'm glad that they took that direction. Speaking of which, Hulk is in this as well.
You're not gonna get away with this.
But he might.
I didn't know you could get that big.
Interesting use.
I liked how he was used. I also saw something else that said it's kind of representing how Spider-Man's turning into a monster.
Yeah.
And how he's like trying to control that himself.
Hulk was almost a dark reflection of what he will turn into.
Well, and he even said it himself, though. It's like maybe you're trying to fight something that needs to be shown or something like that. Which in the end, he comes to terms with it. You know what I'm saying? Having this new power. I'm both, which was a hard line, the way it was delivered.
Hard.
And then he did that awesome like spin web sling thing.
Oh, so speaking of the moves, tell people where a lot of these came from.
So a lot of the fight scenes and the way he fights is from the PS4 video games, which Tom Holland has said he's played, and so they actually added it in, and like, it looks really cool.
1-to-1 like moves, like the straight pulled from the video game, which I thought was number one, really modern. Like you can tell people who grew up with video games are now starting to like work in movies.
Yeah.
And number two, really fascinating, inspirational choice. And I'm glad they did it because this is visually one of the most like quote unquote Spider-Man movies we've ever seen. If you remember watching like Into the Spider-Verse, the way Miles moves is a little unnatural because it's a cartoon, but he still feels like it looked like it's straight out of the comic books.
Yeah.
There are so many scenes in this movie with how Tom Holland swings, uses his webs, moves, poses that just feel like straight out of a comic book in the best way possible.
One thing I didn't expect, but I really liked was a lot of the music. They actually had this guy named Tame Impala. That was whenever,
yeah.
That's whenever he like went into the music, and I was like, wow, that fits really well. And like a lot of people online are like adding edits of Spider-Man to him, so I think that's like his song now.
Yeah,
like you know,
I'm all about it, dude. I loved. Yeah, the music was great. There was a lot of just like music was sort of used as almost a transition for feeling in a lot of like the scenes as well. Really like specifically chosen songs to like pick a vibe and that kind of thing. Can we talk about the theater etiquette for just a second though? I know this is sort of out of the blue, but we saw this movie again, like we said, 3 times.
And every time I almost lost, like I kept laughing because something had to happen in the theater.
So the first time we go and see it, again, packed theater all 3 times. If you're going to see this movie, it's going like you're going to be sitting with somebody.
Even now, it's been like a week and it's still like
a week later on a Saturday night, literally like to the brim packed at Oldham. It was shocking. And so night number 1, we go and it's a Saturday night and a guy screams at the top of his lungs in like the first half of the movie.
Hey, by the way, Spotty dies.
And
everyone just went, oh,
yeah, like the whole theater. God. Yeah, they all turned into Napoleon Dynamite.
God. And then I turned over. I'm like, that's not going to happen. There's no way they're going to do that.
And I thought at that moment, I was like, okay, let's pretend for a second that Spider-Man actually dies. I was thinking in the back of my head, hold on, they're doing something really cool here. They're going to kill off Tom Holland's Spider-Man and bring in an older Spider-Man from the older movies for Doomsday and that's how they're going to do it. It turns out he doesn't die. He almost dies.
Yeah.
But does not die. And
speaking of which, the way he almost died was really cool because the Punisher.
So the Punisher shot him.
Yeah. And then he carried him in the hospital. And back to our comic cover things, there's a really cool shot of him carrying Spider-Man, which is reminiscent of this comic cover not cover, but like a comic panel
Mm-hmm.
where Punisher's like holding Spider-Man. It's in Civil War. So that was really cool to see. And their whole relationship I really liked too.
Their whole relationship very much like the stereotype that you have of like New Yorkers and how they're always yelling and fighting and that kind of thing.
But they care.
But right, they were. You could tell that they were friends, but it was just that very aggressive, loud sort of language. And like I've said, Spider-Man feels like a New Yorker in this. He has like a much more thick Queens accent. He's a little more, hey, like he's
Yeah.
kind of got that New Yorker sort of attitude a little bit.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that. That was a small touch that a lot of these movies take place in New York. Nobody ever feels like a New Yorker. Spider-Man and both Punisher and Spider-Man both felt like New Yorkers in
Yeah.
this, and I really appreciated those small touches.
What about the theater etiquette?
Yeah, back to theater etiquette. What did COVID do to us? That people forgot how to sit in a movie theater. Like, what was this?
What were they doing in the back? I can't even explain, dude.
Okay,
Something bad.
Somebody was fooling around backstage.
A little too much.
Yeah. And there was a point in time where a woman got sick of it.
She says,
"You either need to be quiet or get out."
And the dude behind us says,
"Thank God they won't shut up."
The dude behind us, whose kid was kicking her seat and screaming the entire time, was mad at the teenagers who were being much louder in the back. And you looked like you kept looking over at me, and I could just tell you were like, "I'm not having a good time." You were like, and then so tonight we're at the movie theater, and again, it's Saturday night. Okay, the one with the kids yelling and screaming was on a Sunday matinee at night, 7 p.m. on a Sunday night. Packed theater. Tonight we go on a Saturday night. Again, packed theater.
Somebody kept farting. They wouldn't stop.
We couldn't stop laughing.
Like, I had to put my hat in my mouth. I was like ready to actually exit that theater for a little bit just so I could stop laughing. But
It was insane because it was so blatant. And
it got dead silent. He did it the second it got dead silent. He didn't pick like a fight scene, nothing, not like a cheer scene. Just the second it got dead silent, he just rips it.
It's a loud movie. Like, there are so many times for you to fart during that
That was
movie.
the most quietest point of the movie.
And he was like, and Homeboy's butt was just like, "Hey, now's the time." And I remember he farted, and we were off to the side, and William just looks at me, and I'm like, and I like immediately start cracking up to the point to like, now we're both nervous that we're about to get kicked out because they're gonna think, oh, these guys are being loud. So we couldn't stop laughing. 3 or 4 times they farted during this movie.
There was one where it's just like one after the other.
Yeah.
And I like look over to see if anybody else in the audience is hearing this, and I just see like this guy who looked like a dad, and he's like, "You hear what I'm hearing?"
and then during the darkest scene in the movie, where Jean Grey pretends to be Mary Jane, a guy had an emotional moment during it and audibly screamed, "No!" After it was revealed, he goes, "No!" So if you're ever curious, can this movie bring out some real emotion in you? Absolutely.
So much so to the point of natural gas.
Dog. And rightly so. I mean, this movie's pretty tense. Oh man. Anyway, theater etiquette. We should do that. We should record a like, "Hey, put your phones away and try not and don't be loud." Like we need one of those
No
again.
farting. Just a big sign that just says no farting.
Please keep personal gas to the bathroom.
Stop farting right now. We need like one of those like alarms that they have at the gym where you make too much noise and it goes off, except for farting.
You want a fart alarm?
Yeah.
That's maybe. But I just gotta say, we need to figure out what happened to us during COVID. I understand that it was a difficult thing. We all had to separate. This is not how we conduct ourselves in movie theaters. We got to have some better behavior. That being said, definitely go watch this in the theater. Go support Oldham if you see it. This is worth watching in the theater because, again, it feels like one of those big cinematic experiences. And I really enjoyed getting to see, like, it felt like a real movie. A lot of these MCU movies feel like it was all made on like a soundstage where the two people were recorded in green laboratories that are put together later. This felt like an actual movie where like they were at the places with the sets. And this is such a weird thing to have to say, but the actors felt like they were in the room together.
Yeah.
And it felt like an actual film.
Spider-Man. I've always liked Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but a lot of people think he's like they didn't like him, but like for those people, this time it's like, look, he's Spider-Man. In this one. Like you can,
he earned his place on the Spider-Man Mount Rushmore. This is going to be someone's favorite Spider-Man film. It's one of my top 3, I think, ever.
Probably my top 3 or 4.
It's fascinating that I did not think an MCU movie could do this.
Yeah.
I was very much in the camp of like, and not to say that I haven't enjoyed the other MCU Spider-Man movies. I really have.
I loved every single one of them.
Yeah, they were awesome.
I remember No Way Home being like the pinnacle.
No Way Home for me, like I remember like coming out of the movie theater and you were like, "Oh, I could die now." Like
well, it's like everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah,
because it's like Tobey Maguire was there when I was a kid, Andrew was there when I was a teenager, and Tom was here when I'm an adult. And just seeing that all together, just in like one movie, just finally seeing them all together, I like felt complete.
So
I like got out of the theater and I was like, I don't care if they mess up the 4th one, and then they ended up making like it knocking out of the park. It was amazing.
It's really interesting. Where I was actually sort of going to gauge my enthusiasm for it based off your reaction to it.
Yeah,
because I was legitimately curious after No Way Home. Where were they going to go with this? You know what I mean? And Spider-Man in the MCU has sort of had this almost like reverse character arc where usually in the comic books and other continuities, he starts out as like the lonely guy who's got no friends. He's down on his luck. He's broke. And then eventually he gains both friends, technology, time, equipment, like that kind of thing. This one did the opposite. And now we're at a point where the frustrating part about it a little bit is it's like, okay, now we can have a Spider-Man movie. But I will say this, I'm glad that we waited because this is the Spider-Man movie that I was hoping for in the MCU.
Well, it made me appreciate the old ones more because it was like, look at what it was building up to.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, you look back at them and like, yeah, they aren't so bad. It's just him as a young Spider-Man. You're wanting regular Spider-Man just at the gate, which we've already gotten twice. So, it makes sense why they did it differently.
Mm-hmm. And I'm really curious to see like this. And it's funny. This is the best advertisement that Doomsday could ever have because now I'm actually like, oh, well, now I want to see what happens next.
Yeah.
And it was and this coming from a guy that I wasn't really interested in Doomsday overall. I'm a little tired of Marvel, but this 100%. I have to set aside my bias, my Marvel and MCU bias. This was great. I'm glad we did it. Like, I'm glad that this is what we're doing. Tastefully done. The shots alone, you can see, I can tell where like the production team and the director and the design, they were all taking like, it was almost like a Frankenstein's monster of all of the best of movie Spider-Mans that we've had.
Yeah.
Where there are shots in this movie that are straight up taken from the Sam Raimi, straight up taken from the Andrew Garfield, and not in a way where I'm saying like they've been stolen.
No, it's like a love letter.
Yeah,
it's just done right. Yeah,
there's gonna be like
it's just showing respect.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're standing on the shoulders of giants, but you still sang.
I've seen a lot of the like debates. Shut up! Finally,
yes.
About who's the best. Like, who cares? It's just whoever you like the best.
The best is Spider-Man.
Well, and I think that's why like people that are in my age range don't really care who's the best is because we just grew up with all of them. We like them all,
It's they fit a strange place in the cultural zeitgeist here where
like Toby will always be, because that was
oh yeah,
when I was a kid, he'll always be my thing. Like that's the spider I have tattooed is Toby.
Right.
If they kill him in like the new Doomsday, I'm gonna be mad.
We'll be back and we'll let you know about the wrath. You'd walk out of the theater.
Yeah,
William,
I will come on this dang podcast and tell you that I'm mad that they killed him. I'll spoil it for you all.
I'm telling you, dude, I have a weird feeling they're going to do it.
And I have a weird feeling I'm going to walk out and rate it 0. That's what I think.
All right, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're still in Spider-Man territory for now. Everyone's alive as far as we understand.
Yeah.
None
of that was confirmed, by the way. That's just all speculation for the new one.
Yeah, that's a spoiler of a spoiler of a spoiler. Anyway, what have we not talked about? Have we not mentioned something yet?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all.
All right. I think that was pretty decent.
That was cool.
This has been a fun one.
I had fun. Yeah.
Get out there. Hey, go to Oldham. Go watch this film while it's still in theaters.
You watch it.
This is worth going to watch. Go back and participate. Movies are back. The highest grossing year for movies since COVID. Go enjoy it. Get some popcorn. Go enjoy your night out. Watch some Spider-Man and have a good time.
And most importantly, stop farting.
No, stay tuned to ESPN Radio Winchester every weekday morning for the starting lineup. This has been Chewy. I am joined by my brother, William. Thank you for watching Now Showing. Head on to Oldham. And stay tuned for some free movie tickets.